What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be doing another video here on Remnant 2. It seems to be the hot game right now. It seems to be doing kind of, well, better than expected, I think, in terms of popularity, and I think that's great. It's kind of crazy to me how much has happened in this game already, and the game is not even, like, officially released yet. They did the pre-order, get early access. I think it was, like, sometimes more than 3 days, and people have been playing and hitting on this game and, like, making videos and content and talking about this game. It seems like so much has already happened, and it's not even released yet. It's crazy how, I know other games do early access if you pre-order. Remnant 2 is not the first game to do this, but because I've been following it so much, it feels crazy that people haven't even officially been able to buy the game in its normal capacity. So I came across this video. It's from Adzi Gaming. The video is called Please Don't Buy Remnant 2 Yet. As always, I'm going to link the video in the description of this video. If you want to check it out, absolutely do that. Check out his stuff.
If you're anything like me, then you are very excited for Remnant 2.
Yeah.
So much so that you probably went out and spent the extra $20 to get the early access version so you can play it 3 days early.
I swear, it feels like so many people have done that for this game, and I have no stats to back this up on, but it's just because I've been following it so much. It feels like didn't everyone pre-order this game? And technically everyone who is playing it right now did pre-order the game, but it feels like a lot of people they pre-ordered, and it's a good game, and it was probably worth it to get the 3 extra days, but this guy has a different point of view.
When you get the game early, you might encounter more bugs than people who wait for launch might experience some performance issues. Or you could have been like me and experience a game-breaking bug that's stopping you from progressing.
So he's claiming he has a game-breaking bug that stops him from progressing. So that would suck.
This is a massive shame because this is getting added to the list of games this year that didn't launch in a great state. Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor. I keep calling it Fallen Order.
Star Wars.
But Jedi Survivor is in that bracket. I've played 5 or 6 hours of it.
Okay,
I'm
so
having fun.
6 hours.
The game does have some issues that I will talk about soon. But
right
now, I would avoid playing Remnant 2 because if you go out and you spend €50 or €70 or dollars on this game to get the early access or wait until full launch, if there's a chance that you can experience a game-breaking bug like I have this early on, I would just avoid playing.
He's recommending, I think, don't pre-order the game because it's an extra $20 or $30 or whatnot because of the bugs. And as I say, I've been following Remnant 2. I haven't heard too much about the bugs. I have heard a little bit, but like it hasn't been an issue for very many people. It's like a different perspective that this guy's having, that he's saying the bugs are preventing him from recommending a pre-order. And like, I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
As a game, it does more of what Remnant did. It's Remnant from the ashes, but bigger. But because it's bigger, it kind of lost some of its ease, like its accessibility. Not in terms of difficulty, but with how the game is laid out.
He's talking about Remnant 1 versus Remnant 2 and how it's different, and he's saying it's bigger now, which kind of lost the appeal of the first one. And I think that has he has a valid point there. But it also kind of feels like he's in the minority. It feels like most people are playing this second game and who also played the first game are really enjoying what they've done, the direction they've gone in, because it's really just more of what you had the first case. There's more to it, you know, more areas, more space, more guns, more classes, right? So I feel like he has a point, but he's in the minority with this. Could you imagine if they made the game the exact same size as Remnant 1 and the same classes and similar everything? Like, I think people would have more critical things to say, be like, man, this is just a rehash of the same game. I think that would be worse.
What I've played, the game is still really fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm
glad he said that.
To preface all of this by saying this game is still stupidly fun, a stupidly fun action RPG. With really, really good sound design. The guns just feel so good to use.
Yeah, my trust in this guy just went up. +6. That's good. I'm glad he said that. I connected with that.
Where I think the game has kind of faltered a bit is because the areas have gotten so big.
Of course you picked the
It can kind of feel, the first area can kind of feel a bit empty. So, and to be honest, I think from what I've played, the first area is a bad showing of what this...
Do you guys think that he's like searching for criticism of this game because he knows it's going to be great? Maybe he knows he's in the minority, so it almost feels like his brain is searching. What can I say that's negative? Oh yeah, the first area is empty. I could be wrong. It's just a thought I had. So
game is, because once you get into the second area, which is sort of, I guess, the first main area, the game goes back to the more linear design of what Remnant from the Ashes was, and it just becomes a lot more fun. I streamed Remnant 2 yesterday, and the first area, very open. Almost reminds me of something like Diablo 4, the way Diablo 4 had these big maps with little dungeons sprinkled around. And what the game does, which I think is its biggest problem, is that it's kind of confusing to navigate. And the reason is, so first of all, when you...
Legitimately, this is the first time I've heard this particular criticism, that the game is hard to navigate. Let's just see what he's talking about here.
Come up to a dungeon, the dungeons have different door symbols on the maps. And these dungeons have either a rectangle door, which means it's a main story, or like a cylindrical door, which means it's a side story. And then on top of it, it has a diamond, which shows you if you've cleared it or if you've never explored it, which is all well and good. But for a while, I was running around like a headless chicken, doing a load of side dungeons. I knew they were side dungeons, but I couldn't find the main dungeon. Because on the map, there was 2 rectangular doors.
He was doing side dungeons and he couldn't find his way back to the main dungeon. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'd already explored. So then it's almost like the quest marker is taking me towards them. It doesn't show any distinction between... Yes, it shows you that you have explored a rectangular door, like a story door. But I found myself going back to these areas just to do like one more sweep, because there was no actual quest marker. Like, it wasn't like this is the dungeon that you have to go to. And I was just wandering around like a headless chicken. Now, when I found that dungeon, it was fine. But just finding that dungeon was a bit frustrating.
Again, I don't know if you're going to have many people agree with you on this point. I think sometimes people like games where you don't have the exact marker on your waypoint on your minimap of exactly where you should go next. Some people like and consider that part of the exploration of a game. Again, I don't know if people are going to agree with you. I wonder if he's reaching a bit just to criticize a good game. I don't know.
The game is tough, but not overly tough. It's like harder than, say, Diablo, but it's easier than Dark Souls.
That sounds fair. Harder than early Diablo and easier than Dark Souls. That probably seems about accurate.
It's kind of like they wanted to give you that discovery of what a Souls-like game gives you. Like, obviously, when it comes to Dark Souls, one of the greatest things about that series is the level design and how you don't actually fully know where you're going. You just know that you kind of have to go the opposite direction from where you came, as stupid as that sounds. But
yeah,
there's not a quest marker, but it's still quite, most of the time, pretty obvious where you need to go.
Okay,
but
so
in
he's
this
talking
game,
about my
it's
point.
like they wanted to give you an action RPG, but they also wanted to sprinkle in some of them Souls-like elements and not exactly guide you to where you need to go, which I think is a problem for action RPGs. When it came to Diablo 4, one of the things I said in my review is, and as a term, it kind of sounds a bit stupid, but that Diablo 4 is very readable. Like, there was just something about how the UI, how the map, how the quest log was laid out.
Easy
that
to
just meant that you knew at every given time what you were doing. If you were doing a side quest, if you were doing a main quest, where you need to go to do the main quest, where you need to go to do the side quest, if this is an optional place, if this is a world event. So Diablo 4 was just extremely accessible and readable.
Yes, that's the word I was thinking.
That sort of an
They put a lot of energy into that, making it accessible. There's only so many buttons you could push.
I sound like a headless chicken on the stream. Now, I was talking, talking to the chat, so that obviously affects certain parts of it. Like, I will admit that you're not 100% engaged. But even when I was playing by myself, not engaging with a chat, that larger area was still a bit more obtuse than what I would want it to be. Now, when I got into the second area, a lot of that was alleviated. It felt a lot more like Remnant.
It sounds to me like he was streaming the game, and as he was playing, probably only his first couple hours playing the game, and he's distracted by chat, he got lost, and he didn't like that feeling, and he wants to talk about it in his assessment of the game, and that's fair. That's a good thing to talk about if that was your experience. I just don't know if the average player has the same gripe with this aspect. I feel like the map and the navigation, I think it's not so bad in this game. The average player probably doesn't stream the game, right? They can focus on where they're going and what they've done. They don't get distracted by chat. Is it a problem for the average player? I don't think so. I guess it would be hard as a game developer to balance. Like, some people never want to look at the map. They just want to go straight, fight, go straight and fight, or go forward and fight. That's all they want to do. They don't want to think about the map at all. Some people, honestly, they probably want to get lost and have to figure it out, navigate which way, waypoint markers and all that stuff. You have to balance that in the game, and there's going to be different opinions on that.
But that's where I experienced the game breaking bug. Essentially, there's a dungeon. I need to find a key to progress the story. And I cleared all the enemies out of the dungeon, and the key didn't spawn. And I googled it just to make sure I wasn't doing something wrong. I watched the guide on how to clear the dungeon, and it's as simple as there's a key at the end to open this door. The key isn't there. There was a couple of people in the comments also saying that they had this issue. So it doesn't seem like I'm alone in this. So I would be wary about buying this game. I would keep your eye on this channel specifically. I will eventually, hopefully, be doing a full review of this game if I can beat it, or if there's a hot fix, or blah blah blah.
Okay, I do gotta say, it's interesting that he is promoting his channel, to come back to his channel, to, he didn't say subscribe, but come back to my channel, watch my material, because he wants to follow up on this bug he's kind of introducing. And I find that interesting. It kind of makes his motivation a little bit foggier. Like, is he talking about these bugs because he wants to entice people to come back? Also, it sounds like a pretty soft bug. He has to clear a dungeon before the key shows up. Other people in the comments apparently had this problem too when he Googled it, so I respect that. He's trying to figure it out on his own. Something that could be figured out, or if it really was a game-breaking bug, just re-roll, start again, and bring your character, or don't. Like, doesn't feel like it should end your experience with the game. Doesn't seem like that bad of a bug.
I just wasted €20 pretty much. I'm sure there's a chance that I could start a new character and go back and not experience this bug, but I've already put 6 hours in. And that's a lot of time. Like, that's nearly a full work day, you know?
I'm pretty sure, though, you can bring your character, so you'd have to start the game all over, but I think you can bring your character and the progression in your character, which would help.
As much fun as I am having, yes, I have some issues with general how the game is laid out, but it's still really fun. It's just stupid action RPG fun that you can't 100% turn your brain off the way you can with something like a Borderlands or Torchlight until you get to the end game. So, like, I'm still having fun, but exactly what Jedi
can you turn
Survivor,
your brain off completely?
It's another game that gets added to the list of a game that doesn't. There is some performance issues, but they're not too noticeable and not really much to write about. But there's a couple of, you know, bugs. Enemies falling through the floor is a particular one that that I've experienced with enemies like getting stuck indoors. It's not a very polished experience. Now, this is a AA game, so I'm only expecting.
I feel like it's relatively polished.
I'm expecting some bugs out of it, but it's just a shame that it's another game that I spent my hard-earned cash on, just like Jedi Survivor, and I can't play it right now. Apparently, it does have some performance issues.
I feel like this guy is pretty frugal. Like, he's smart with his money. He likes to spend his dollars on games that he likes and enjoys, and he's upset if he spends too much money on a game that, you know, he only got early access and then there's a bug. He's upset about this. You can tell he's being genuine. I think reviewers like this on YouTube are important, right? They're just one more opinion that you can have, and you can reflect on, okay, this guy's pretty tight with his money, and he pre-ordered, so maybe we should or not, or like, it's good.
If it's on PC or other consoles, that maybe later down the line will get worse. So I think for now it's pretty safe to say that Remnant 2 does more of Remnant from the Ashes from what I've played. It adds new classes. The guns still feel great.
There you go. I'm glad he says that.
I still don't fully understand if the different abilities will affect much how the different classes play, because obviously I'm only 6 hours in.
Or 0, because you have to restart.
It has a game-breaking bug.
Just kidding.
That hopefully will get fixed.
Is that game-breaking?
Updated. Has some other.
I don't know. Is that game-breaking? You're 6 hours in. You probably cleared the dungeon that was supposed to spawn a key, and you can't find it. Like, it's probably a bug. It might not even be a bug. You might have missed one little critter somewhere, or some other aspect. Like, can we classify that as a game-breaking bug? You could just re-roll and start again, or go back in the dungeon. I wonder if he's going to come back and say, "Hey, I found the key. Sorry, just kidding. This video is not valid anymore."
I'll have to put this game down for now. So please wait on buying this game, and just keep your eye on, I don't know, Remnant's Twitter or on my channel, and I'll update you if it does get fixed, because I'm having fun. And I don't like I don't like making videos like this. I don't like making. I would rather, if in this world I could make my whole channel about games that I recommend. But unfortunately, you and I are both going to spend our hard-earned cash on games that either won't run well, they won't work, there'll be bugs, something will be broken in them. Unfortunately, that's just how the industry is, and it's a look at a draw. Like, it really is a look at a draw. And that's why that's a big perk of PC gaming, even though I wouldn't have been able to refund it because I would have played over the 2 hours on Steam.
Refunded?
That is a big perk of PC gaming that consoles don't have. Unfortunately, there's no way to refund this because I bought it digitally.
It feels like he's genuinely upset by this bug and this game. I think he's having fun, and then I think he has like a little bit of buyer's remorse. Like, he pre-ordered, and then you only get early access for, I think it's 3 days. And after the 3 days are kind of over, you kind of feel like, why did I pay $20 for this experience? Could I just waited 3 days? He probably has a little bit of buyer's remorse. As I said, he's smart with his money. He's trying to help out his viewers and be like, hey, don't make this decision. You know, have this information so you make your decision. And he feels pretty genuine that he's upset that this bug happened, or maybe he's just got buyer's remorse, and in general he wish he didn't pre-order the game. Maybe that's what happened. Pre-orders, bite again. I don't know.
Avoid Remnant 2 for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Support on the channel has been amazing. I already said my goodbye, but thank you. So, Discord, Twitter, loads of links everywhere. Thank you. Goodbye.
First thing I want to say about this guy is, first of all, I like him. He's coming across genuine. He's talking about his actual experience with the game. He said some positive things which seem really true, like the game does feel fun. He was having a good time. He said some really good things. I really connect with him because he said these things. But his opinion seems to be, if I'm interpreting this right, he's saying stay away from this game because of the bugs. Or maybe he's just saying don't pre-order it because of this one bug. If he's saying don't pre-order it because of this one bug, it could happen to you and you could be game broken. I don't know if they're going to fix it before in 3 days. I don't know how often game developers have a fix out that quick within 3 days before the pre-release of a game and the actual release of a game. They might fix it. But if he's suggesting don't pre-order the game, just get it normally because of this bug, they probably won't have the bug in a fix by the time the game comes out anyway. It's probably going to be the same game for like a week. I don't know how often bugs come out. Good video, man. As I say, I'm building all this intel on this game. I've been watching videos on this game all over. It's always nice to have one more perspective. He's given his genuine perspective. You know, be careful. There's potential for a bug. Just in general, I think the takeaway you might have from this is be careful always of pre-orders. Always. You might feel like this guy who might feel like he's got buyer's remorse. Like, why did I spend extra money for 3 days? It's not worth it most of the time. Sometimes, I don't know. Anyway, that's it for now. Drop a thumbs up. See you next time.